All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and man, we have some hilarious interactions going on between Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s CEO Leonard ELLERBY and Devin Haney, and a major supporter of Devin Haney, where they wind up clowning Devin Haney in this pay-per-view with VASLY LOMACHENKO and issues a challenge. And I got to tell you, man, I loved every second of it because, man, people just say some of the craziest things, acting as if somehow that ESPN is outperforming Showtime in the fights that they have, the boxing matches that they have. Actually was ridiculing Rolly Romero for Rolly Romero and the numbers that he did, and trying to compare that to what is going on at ESPN. But before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, hey, thank you. This is how we're able to continue to have the channel. Thank you very much. And also thank you specifically to everybody that supports on the in the Cash App that you can see a link to in the description below this video. It's a great way to support the channel. Going to be that way for a month because, hey man, we're not going to be able to monetize our videos for a while until we get an issue resolved. So thank you so much to anybody and everybody that supports down in the Cash App for INT. But let's get into the details of this because I love this discussion. I am somebody that I consider myself to be a business-minded person. And there's a lot of people out there in the world that honestly, man, have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to business in general, business as it applies to the sport of boxing, networks, the size of networks, the audience of networks, the relationships, the how you actually determine what is successful and what is not successful. You know, there's that saying that numbers, women lie, men lie, but numbers don't lie. That right there is a lie, because men and women lie with numbers, and they do it all the time. And this is what Leonard ELLERBY, the CEO of Floyd Mayweather, of Mayweather Promotions, Floyd Mayweather's promotional company, ran into when he was dealing with a YouTube channel and a commentator on Twitter who shall remain nameless because I'm not really into that. Really don't think he's a bad guy at all. You know, sometimes we just disagree on certain points. It is what it is when you disagree. This is boxing. There's always two sides to the story, and a way that you can look at it, a way that I can look at it. And even if what you say sounds ridiculous to me and 99% of rational people, doesn't mean you're a bad guy. But in this particular circumstance, the exchange went on, and a guy was talking about how Rolly Romero's numbers for the viewership that he did on Showtime was abysmal on Showtime. I didn't see how many the numbers that he did, but I'll just say, take for example, he did 400. Even if he had 400,000 people watch the fight or 200,000 people watch the fight, doesn't matter. It's going to be somewhere around there. And so it didn't really perform with a lot of viewership. And the guy commented that Rolly Romero needs to be on a better network, saying that fighters like the fights that are coming, and he compared it to the fights that are coming up this week and it had happened in other weeks that take place on ESPN, where you see somebody like, take for example the numbers for viewership for like a VASLY, say for a VASLY Lomachenko fight or a Teofimo Lopez fight. The last Teofimo Lopez fight is probably the best example, where Teofimo Lopez did something like wound up averaging something like 900,000 people, right? And then you take somebody like Rolly Romero and just say he did 200,000 people watch his fight on Showtime, and then saying that, okay, that means that that the fight for Teofimo Lopez was more successful than the fight for Rolly Romero. And if you just look at the numbers, right, you just look at those two numbers, you're like, well, yeah, I guess 900,000 is more than 200,000, but it isn't just those numbers. There are other numbers that are out there where you talk about the performance. Now, take, for example, the pool of available people. Now, the pool of available people for ESPN, according to Leonard Ellerby, he said it's at least 3 times the size of what the viewership pool is on Showtime. I would say it's probably more than 3 times, but say you have 3 million or 9, say you got 9 million available subscribers to Showtime and you've got 30 million subscribers on ESPN, more people can watch the fight because there's more people that actually have it on their television screen to watch it, right? So is the difference right there. But the funny thing in the conversation was when Leonard Ellerby made a proposition. How about we look at, since we're talking about secondary, weaker platforms, he says, look, you talking about the platform that just sold 1.2 million, just did 1.2 million pay-per-views, 2 weeks ago, that platform. And he said, if you think that ESPN is better, no worries. Let's compare the pay-per-views. Let's compare the pay-per-view sales that are going to take place on ESPN pay-per-view, which is obviously referring to the Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko fight, and the pay-per-views that took place with Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. And we'll see then who the better network is when now you're basically competing against the same pool, because you don't need to be subscribed to ESPN to buy an ESPN pay-per-view. And you didn't have to be subscribed to Showtime to watch the fight to get a Showtime pay-per-view. It's available to everybody and they can market it to anybody. So if this network over there on ESPN is better than Showtime, then that should show in their ability to sell the pay-per-view, right? Because you will see that they will do a better job selling Devin Haney and Lomachenko than they did doing Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. And as we both already know, ain't no way anybody's going to take that bet or do that comparison, because there ain't no way in the world that is going to take place, especially as we've already seen that take place multiple times. There's yet to be an ESPN pay-per-view that is outsold one of even the most minimal of the, or now I won't say the most minimal, any of the major pay-per-views that have taken place on Showtime involving Errol Spence Jr. or even Deontay Wilder, right? The Deontay Wilder, now I do believe that the Deontay Wilder 2, which was the biggest one that they did, that was on Showtime. And the Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, the same fighters did less numbers on the second fight. But anyway, you get the gist. We'll see if that takes place, man, but ain't no way that is going to take place. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.